Welcome, chess learners, to lesson 4. Today we're going to learn the tactics discover attack, and we're also going to learn some different kinds of mates that will come up along your games very soon, if not now. First, we're going to learn the discovered attack. The discovered attack is when there is one piece that is in between a piece that attacks an enemy piece. For example, in this position, we can see that the knight is the piece that's in between. A discover attack is when this piece moves away and the other piece simultaneously attacks the piece. In this example, the king. There are many other discover attacks too. For example, there is also a double check, which usually comes from a discovered attack, where there is a knight check and a rook check. When a double check happens, the only thing the other side can do is run away the king. There's no capturing, because you can't capture two pieces at the same time. There's no blocking, because blocking two pieces is impossible, and blocking a knight is also impossible. So yeah. Now we're going to learn the different mates. First, we have a thing called back rank mate. And because of the name, you probably already know that the king has to be, on the back rank. So the back rank mate comes from when a piece like a rook or a queen checks the king. And the only problem is the king in chess, you cannot capture your own pieces. Therefore, it is a checkmate. And this usually happens when one side castles and then has these three pawns in front of them, and it just makes it very hard. So in order to avoid this back rank mate, because castling is a very safe move, we need to be a little bit careful, and we need to stop this back rank. So let's say that it is in this position, it is black to move. Now, what do we do? Okay, so we know that white is going to checkmate us with black rank mate. I'm going to flip the board. And how do we stop back rank mate? Well, we have many ways we can stop back rank mate. The best way, or the most common way, is to push your pawns. You can push the H pawn here. Now, the reason why is that we give a king sort of like a luft to escape. For example, an attic window to escape to the rooftop. And now, if white checks, this is no longer a checkmate. Our king can sneak away. This is why this is very important, and of course, if you are a beginner, you might fall for back rank mate, but knowing how to defend against it is very good too. Also, you can push your G pawn or your F pawn. It doesn't really matter. And the king moves to F8 is also a great idea, because if he checks you again, your king can slide over to E7 and you're good to go. Alright, now let's look at another different type of mate. We call this the queen and helper mate. The queen and helper mate is where a queen and another piece mates together. In this position, can you find where the checkmate is? If you found it, then it is definitely a queen and helper mate. Queen to here is a checkmate. The queen is checkmating the king, while the knight, the helper, helps the queen checkmate the king. Let's see another queen and helper mate. In this position, can you find checkmate immediately? If you found queen c7, then you have just delivered another queen and helper mate. Congratulations. So queen and helper mate can occur in any places. Any piece can be the helper, even another queen if your pawn promotes into one. And queen and helper mate is probably the most common because the queen's so powerful, it's very easy for the queen to checkmate. Alright, now let's move on to the final mate that we have in this lesson. Now it is time for mates called ladder mates. Why is it called ladder mate? Well, it's sort of like taking steps to climbing a ladder. Here, white wants to win. He has 2 rooks. This can also work if one of the rooks was a queen, or both rooks are a queen, but we're just going to use rooks. How does white checkmate? Go ahead and pause the video to figure out for yourselves. And okay, now let's show the solution. First, it's like a ladder. You check the king. And if he moves the king back, his king cannot go forward because your rook is cutting off. You're slowly trapping the king in a cage, but you're shrinking it until it's checkmate. So we continue checking. His king moves. We continue checking. His king moves again. We continue checking, and now his king is on the back rank. And now we can deliver the final checkmate. His king cannot move on the edge of the board and is officially a checkmate. Alright, now we're going to go back. After we played rook h4, black might have another defensive move. He might move sideways. Why is this a little bit more better? Because after you check and you check, his king moves here. What do? You can't check anymore because the king just takes the rook. So how do we stop? How do we continue using the ladder mate to checkmate? Well, in this position, you just slide your rook to the other side. For example, rook to a5. Now you can continue checking until you checkmate. But what if he attacks your rook again? You just move the rook to the other side, and he has no way he can stop you. It's game over. He can try to run, but his king is so slow and is too far away, and then we deliver checkmate. Okay, so this is the end of lesson 4. I will see you in lesson 5.